Once again, never, ever, ever gets old.
It's easy, bro.
It's easy peasy.
They don't know.
Yeah. How was your week, man? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, let me get. I'll get mine out of the way. It's been a tired week. I don't know. It's been a meh week so far. It's been blah.
Meh is better than my week.
All right. Well, I don't know. I just feel like I had no. What's the word? Energy to do anything this week. And I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Did you work
it's
out?
Just weird. No. And I haven't been, I can't even front. Like I was mad, like depressed because I was like,
Jeez.
I worked this hard and I can't go to the gym right now.
I mean, the gym's not end all be all, Eliott. Or what's
I know,
be all, end
but
all?
it's like, I was making a lot of progress. And I was like, well, dang, I can't like do anything right now. So I was like, oh, this is just lame.
You know what we should do? We should like have like a conflict and interest vlog video of us
working out.
Of us like getting in shape.
Oh, like a progress video thing, like where people just follow with us. That would actually
it could be like
cool.
I don't know how it would work, but a 30-day thing.
Yeah.
And then we could like vlog ourselves, and then after the whole process, we can like make a video and then put that on YouTube.
Yeah. I like the TikToks of and TikTok's algorithm is actually absolutely insane, where it's like if you search it up and like something that you watch consistently, your feed will just be covered in it. Oh, yeah. So a lot of my feed right now is covered in like exercise stuff, a lot of dark humor, but also, the like essentially like what you were talking about, the 30-second vlog. So like they film essentially waking up, what their day is. I love those. Those are great. And we should
do that.
We should. It low-key motivates me to like do stuff in like my life. Like
it's
I want to do
accountability too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. Hopefully the rest of the week works out a little bit better. But yeah, it's just been kind of meh.
I'll convince Eliott to do it off camera for you guys. I won't make him commit on camera yet.
Yeah.
I don't even have a TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I don't even watch TikToks.
I thought it was the dumbest app for a long time because I thought it was just people doing stupid dances on it for like millions of views for no reason. But then I got on it and then I'm like, I am very much addicted to it. Like it's low-key addiction.
Yeah, I think Priya is too. Every second, just on TikTok, and I'm like, I can't.
I was scrolling through my feed, and then I see her posting like a makeup thing, and then also something to do with your house,
bro.
Talk about your week,
bro.
Segue.
I'm looking at the camera. I'm gonna insert some like dun 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 music.
Yeah,
bruh. Okay, let me paint this scene for you guys. Okay,
go for it.
It's. What day was it? 2 days ago, I think. Right?
Monday, yeah.
I'm in the studio. I'm cooking, right? I'm making hits, bro. I'm vibing. Like, I'm making a hit. I'm in here like I'm getting it, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm recording, I can't hear anything because I got headphones on, right? Mm-hmm. So I only hear when I sing my line and then stop. Right? Because I got to pause it, play it back and listen, right? So there's like that quick second of like, I can hear around me, right?
Yeah.
So in that quick second, I hear like footsteps of Priya, but this time they're like really, really fast.
Okay.
Like abnormally fast. So in my head, I'm like, dang, she saw another mouse. Because we've had mice. We've had a few mice in our place since we moved in.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh man, there's another mouse. It just ran on her toe. She's about to freak out. Come get me to go get it. Right?
You got to go kill it. Yeah.
So she burst in the room. And you know what she says?
Oh boy.
You know what she says, y'all? She goes, the roof is on fire.
I'm sorry, what?
The roof is on fire. Like she's doing a Nelly music video, fam.
So your building was on fire.
So I'm like, instantly, I'm like, okay, see, like, you don't plan for this kind of stuff. Maybe some of you guys do. I know that there's some like white people out there that have like escape plans for everything.
Yeah.
Probably the white people that like hunt. Like people that hunt, I feel like are ready for situations like this. I wasn't. So in that moment, when someone says the roof is on fire in like an urgent voice, what goes through your head?
Panic mode,
right?
Just panic.
So I didn't panic. I've never like, you know, like fight, flight, or freeze.
Oh,
I've never been a freezer or a flighter. I've always been a fighter, right?
You're gonna punch the fire.
Nah, bro. I'm just saying. I didn't panic.
I get it. Yeah.
But first thing I go to think is like, what? Like I need to know what's going on. But then I think about what she just said, and I'm like, I don't think I should ask. I think I should just trust her and ask later, right?
Yep.
Because I'm like, I don't think this is the kind of thing where I should be like figuring out what's going on before I move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get up. And she like runs into the bedroom to like go like put like clothes to go outside in.
Sure.
So I go, I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, the roof is on fire.
Jeez.
And I'm like, okay, what? Right? So I'm still registering in my head.
Yeah.
I hear a knock at the door. We've had construction workers on the roof, like repairing our roof. So I guess those guys were the ones that discovered it, whatever. Knocking on our door. So I answered the door. Mm-hmm. The guy, in the most nerdy voice ever, he's like, yeah, like the roof is on fire. So if you have any pets or anything, you guys should get out.
What? Just casually, it's like, yeah, it's kind of burning over there, but you know,
right?
Gotta get out.
So I'm like, okay, my brain's now like, okay, what do I need? Mm-hmm. Right? Run back to the studio, grab the laptop.
Smart.
And the thing is, I was in the middle of a session, right?
Oh.
So I just unhooked everything. I didn't even like check. I just made sure I grabbed the laptop.
Yeah.
Grab it, and then I grabbed my hard drive.
Yep.
Because the hard drive has my music. It has all the people I mixed for his music.
Yeah, you don't want
it. It has all the podcasts, like everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather lose the laptop than the hard drive.
Yes.
Right? So I grabbed just those two things. I didn't even bring the charger, bro. I'm looking at the brand new mic we just got.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, I can't unhook this right now.
No. Oh,
and
my
the thing
goodness.
is, I don't know how bad this fire is.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, do I risk it? Do I just unplug it? Do I bring the whole mic stand with the mic? Nah, just leave it. So I just grabbed the laptop and the hard drive, and then we bounced.
Dang, man.
So as I'm going outside now, I can see the smoke coming down. Like, you've been to my place, right? So imagine if you're walking out the door, you open the door and you see smoke coming from the roof.
Jeez.
Right? So that's all I see.
Heck?
And I look out and it looks like everybody else in the building is already outside. So I'm like, dang, we gotta go. Priya's running around frantically. I'm like, yo, let's go. She's grabbing something. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, yo, like, let's go. We could die. You know?
Yeah.
So we finally get outside and the fire trucks are already there. And we live downtown, so like the fire station is like not even like 2 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time I've ever seen like firefighters in like action.
Yeah.
Like not just like car accident action, but like lights, camera, movie type action, you know? Mm-hmm. So fire truck pulls up, like 7 firefighters jump out, and I saw it in slow motion. Like, I get it. Like, I was envious, but like if I was a girl, I get why you guys think firefighters are hot. Because they were like running in slow motion, bro. So they jump off and they're throwing their jackets on and it looks like it's slow motion, but they're moving fast.
Yeah.
They throw the tank on their backs. They throw like the gas masks on, like all that stuff.
Full gear.
Right? So they're like sprinting past us running. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So we're all out. We get to like, now we walk over to like the road, right? Because now the cop cars have the street blocked off.
Yes.
And like 6 more fire trucks pull up. So I'm like, oh, like this is a fire. Like I'm thinking like Spider-Man 1 when he like was in the burning building fire.
Jeez.
Right? So there's one fire truck that's in front of the place and they got the ladder going up to the roof. And I look up the roof and I can see the fire, right? It's black smoke. Now there's like 10 guys on the roof and they're just ripping up the roof. And remember, they've been repairing the roof for the past like 2 weeks. So any work that they did in those
gone.
2 weeks is completely gone.
Wow.
So they're tearing up this roof and like I'm watching them and it's like as they rip it up, more smoke's popping out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is crazy. So now all of our neighbors, like we're like kind of like gathering around together to talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
Apparently, some of our neighbors have seen some of the roofers go on like a lunch break, but leave the torch on.
Oh, no.
On the roof. Right?
What? Okay.
One of them asked him one time, like, yo, like, the thing is on, can, like, don't, like, it's a torch. You can't leave that unattended.
Yeah.
The guy responds and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to get a quick bite. Like, it takes too long to heat up, so I just leave it on.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh?
Oh my gosh.
Like,
what?
Right?
Just turn it off.
Like, you're on the roof. Any kind of heavy wind blow, like, it's gonna...
Somebody gonna get hurt.
Right? So now we got a fire. So our neighbors, the ones you met...
Yes.
Their place got destroyed.
I'm so... When you told me that, I was so, like, actually distraught. Like, I was sad.
And the thing is, like, if it was our place that got destroyed, I would post the pictures for you guys, but it's not ours, so I don't know, like...
Yeah.
It's kind of, like, not cool.
Yeah.
But I sent it to Eliott. Bro, the place is, like, obliterated. Because, like, the firemen, they had to keep going down to see if there was any more whatever... Right? So they like ripped their roof out, like their ceiling out, tore it down, like the place is destroyed. It's destroyed. In the process though, they ended up kicking in all of our doors. Here's the joke though. My door wasn't locked. When we left,
So
we just closed it. We didn't lock it, right? But they kicked it in. So now our door is bust up. Like the little piece, like because the bolt wasn't locked, that part is intact of the frame of the door.
That's good.
But where the handle is where the wood like got destroyed. So the door is broken. They pulled our curtains down off our windows.
Jeez.
I don't know. I can't get mad at them. They're doing their job. Like I don't know what the protocol is for firefighters. But I'm like, I don't know why they ripped our stuff down.
Yeah, for most people, it's life over limb. They don't care about what they're breaking.
Right? So
making sure you're alive.
Get this though. So it seemed like the fire was more on the other side of the building from our apartment, which unfortunate for the people who it affected, but for us, thank God.
I was about to say.
However, now, so our property company that manages our building, they're trash. Like trash glad bag on a Tuesday. Like trash. Right? People are here. Actually, they weren't even here yet. Priya calls them and they're like, hey, the building's on fire. Is anybody coming to, like, it's your building, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were gonna, like, I don't know what's going on, right?
Okay.
So we're all there. They don't say nothing to us.
Like the owners?
Yeah, not the owners. So, like, it's a property management company that works on behalf of the owners.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So don't say nothing to us. But we're here, like we're standing here, not even like hey, is everybody okay? Right?
Yeah. Sorry this happened.
In the midst of it, we're watching the firefighters destroy our neighbor's place. And then we get an email from them. The email reads, we're aware of the fire. As we know right now, we don't know the cause, but we're working to figure it out. And then in like bold letters, it goes, to our knowledge, nothing though, like all your apartments are fine. There's been no damage. But we're watching the firefighters destroy their apartment.
I'm not I'm not laughing at the damage. I'm laughing at the sheer stupidity of what that statement is.
We're watching it.
Oh my gosh.
That's like it's raining, right?
Yeah.
You call your boss, you say, yo, it's raining really bad. I'm wet. Mm-hmm. And then he says, I'm looking at the forecast though. There's no rain today. But you're standing in it. That's like.
What? Oh my, okay. All right. Continue.
So about maybe like, we're outside for like, I don't even know. It felt like a long time. It could have been like maybe an hour or more. Mm-hmm. Eventually the fire department's like, okay, the air is clear. You guys are good to go back in. But now we're like, we don't have doors that work.
Yeah.
One of us don't have an apartment.
Yeah.
Right?
It's gonna happen here.
So luckily for us, me and Priya, our apartment's like fine. Mm-hmm. Minor damages. But they're replacing all our doors. Who knows when? Now they're saying that due to COVID, we might not know when we can get the doors and all this other stuff.
Oh my God.
But
door, it's like one of the most important things of a house.
Right? So now as we use our door, it can only close by being locked by the bolt, like the deadlock.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, it's gonna open. There's no frame. Mm-hmm. So the property company's insurance is involved now. But now that the insurance is involved, things are kind of like expedited and moving quickly. Mm-hmm. And they're like, the roof will be fixed by the end of this week. And in my head, I'm like, then why has it been like 2-3 weeks that they've been working on the roof?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you hire these people in the first place? Whoever's going to fix it now.
Yeah.
But bro, that's our life now.
So to your neighbors, I don't know if you got to talk to them much in terms of how they're going through that situation. Are they going to sue?
You can't sue. Like, it wasn't anybody's fault.
Well, I meant like if it turns out to be that it was malpractice of like the people who left the torch on, knowing that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know how it works. I don't know. Like, I don't know how it works.
I would assume like some level of like compensation for damages in terms of their stuff.
Well, they're like insurance has them in a hotel right now.
Yeah,
I would assume that priority is obviously their apartment because it's destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know.
Dang, man.
Like there's a whole group chat now with all the neighbors.
Yeah,
and they're just like, it's like a bonding moment, bro.
Yeah, bring it all together. Everybody roast the the property.
Crazy.
That's wild, man.
Crazy.
So, like, in terms of that stuff, nothing else hit your building?
No, we're like, our building's fine.
Wow.
Besides the door and the curtain.
Wow. That's a blessing right there. Wow.
Right?
That's crazy, man. I don't know what, like, what would your mindset be? Like, I get material things are material things, but what would your mindset be if, like, that was your building? Like, you were the one, that was your, like, I don't like thinking like that, but what would you think your mindset would be? I don't know what I would do with myself.
My mindset would be, well, I have insurance. Like, you have to have renter's insurance. So
yeah.
I'm never worried about the things, which is why I only grabbed the laptop and the hard drive. Mm-hmm. Because the things on that is way more valuable to me than the actual equipment I use.
Fair enough.
But it would suck. Like, it sucks.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I as much as I would say, like, as long as like whoever I'm with is like safe and we're not hurt, that's the important part. Everything else like is just mundane in comparison. But I'd still feel some type of way.
I mean, if it was us, whatever money we get back, I'd be like, let's try to buy like everything back as cheap as possible and then keep the rest.
Honestly.
Because that'd be a huge payout. That's a huge payout.
Yeah. It's an entire building.
Yeah.
Wild.
And I have my whole studio insured too. So like if that was damaged, that'd be even more on top of the regular insurance. So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy, dude. How was Priya when because you dealt with it, but how did she deal with it?
Priya, she's more like, I don't even know how to describe it. So like me in that situation, I'm just like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I need to like assess what's happening. Mm-hmm. I'm not really thinking about like whose fault it is. I'm thinking about like, are we going to be able to sleep somewhere tonight?
Okay.
Priya's more like rallying with like the neighbors and like upset about it together. Mm-hmm. I don't think I was as upset as she was because my mind's, I don't know. That's just not me.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're both fine. Like, I don't like.
That's good. That's what.
Because like our place is like overall like it was annoying. It was scary almost, but we're fine. Mm-hmm. So it's not really much for us to feel. Mm-hmm. But it is annoying. And then and then get this. Mm. So after it all happened, the neighbors, they're like, you guys can come over because one of the neighbors lives downstairs, right? Like so the way our building is, there's different apartments. Ours is like on the top level, and then the rest of them was on the top level. Except for one unit, which is a double. So they have a downstairs and an upstairs. Mm-hmm. Those people basically have the biggest apartment.
Yeah.
So they're like, you guys can come over, let's whatever. Like, I don't know what to call it. What would you call that? Like
a powwow or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a little session.
So they all go over there. And apparently they hear the guy who's been leaving the torch complaining about the fact that he has to do all this by himself, and like I don't even know why they called the fire department because I could have put it out myself. It wasn't even that big of a fire.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't hear it. I was in the studio. I went back because I had work to do.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that, but they heard it, and they're like, bro, like. What?
Not
like
that time. It is not the time for that.
I feel like if I heard that, I would have cussed her out.
Yeah.
I would be like, are you dumb,
Absolutely.
fam? Like, what's wrong with you?
Why are you saying that? Yeah, that's not the time. If you got comment, keep it to yourself.
But yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I literally was sitting in because you didn't tell me the full details until now, but you texted me. It's like, hey, yo, my building's on fire. I'm like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
He just sent me pictures of it. I was like, holy crap, dude.
I let you know because I'm like, okay, he should know what's going on. Yeah. But I didn't tell the story because I'm like, it'll be good for the podcast.
That's
that's another thing. Yo, in the midst of all that, I'm thinking, dang, this is a great story for the podcast. Yo, I'm out here thinking about business as the place is burning down.
Right? How can we monetize this? How can we get this for clout, for the views?
That's crazy.
That's hilarious. But no, I was just happy you both were safe and nothing else like happened. Like it sucks for your neighbors, but I'm just happy you guys were safe. And
it would have sucked if someone's pet got stuck in there. Like,
dude, if it was that dog that I met, I would have been like, I'd actually probably shed a couple.
It was that apartment, but they had the dog with him when they got out.
Yeah, because I think one of the pictures was I saw the dog and I'm like, okay, we're good there. Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, what a great way, I guess. Not a great way to start your week, but...
And the guy whose apartment it was, he was at work. Right? So it was just his girl and the dog that was at home.
Oh,
so she calls him and like, imagine leaving work early, coming home and walking in and your place is destroyed.
Gone. And you had no opportunity to...
I can't even imagine what that would feel like.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I didn't... Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. That's tough, bro. I mean, what was it? This past weekend was okay. And like starting Monday I didn't have a Monday like yours, but I watched a UFC event, UFC 266. Mm-hmm. Probably one of my, and I usually just watch the main card for UFC fights, but I watched the whole thing, like the prelims to the actual whatever. It was a really, really good event.
Wasn't it Nate Diaz fighting?
Yeah, or Nick Diaz, his older brother. Yeah, so like it was like nostalgic because he hasn't fought in 6 years, and him and Robbie Lawler haven't fought in 17 years. So like that was really the main. And then one of the goats of like women's fighting, Valentina Shevchenko, also fought. Absolutely dominated as she usually does. She has 6 title defenses. She has defended her belt 6 times. That's insane. So she did that, which was fantastic. And during her post-fight press conference, whatever, because they usually do that for the winners and they ask questions, she was asked a question about ring girls.
Like the ones that hold the sign?
The signs up, yeah, for that. The reason why she was asked that is because, do you know who Khabib Nurmagomedov is?
I think so. I don't know.
He fought Conor McGregor. Like, he's the most
I remember the name.
Yeah. Undefeated, 29-0, and he retired. Like, probably one of the greatest UFC fighters of, like, all time. Anyways, he is retired, but he is starting his own fight promotion. Which is called, I have the name of it here. Yeah, it's called Eagle Fighting Championships. Okay. This is a promotion, whatever. And he was asked about how he's going to set it up, whatnot. And one of the comments he made is that he doesn't want ring girls he's not going to have ring girls for his promotion. Because
it's kind of a waste of a job, in my opinion.
So we're going to talk about that because that was his mindset too, is that he pretty much just said that what is the function, right? Like you can show, right? So like the quote he said is that, what is their function? I have a question. You can show that it is the second round on the screen. And he's like, I realize that it is history with ring card girls. History knows many mistakes. We read history to avoid mistakes of the past in the future. If we look in the history, it says they are useless. That is my personal opinion. If Dana White maybe likes it, maybe you do too. But my name is not Dana. My name is Khabib. So pretty much he's like, I don't see the need for it. I think it's a useless job. And I think that you can, again, as he said, you can just put up the screen, like the file just being like round 2. You don't need somebody to hold up a sign to do it.
That's true.
So the interviewers asked Valentina about that, and she had her own thoughts, and she was like super against what Khabib said. She pretty much just said, she said pretty much, beautiful women is a decoration of any event, and I want people to know that, and no one has the right to say that they are useless because they are in the place where they have to be. And she said, they were here at the beginning, and you will come to any event and you will see beautiful women. And you, as a man, like everyone, enjoys it, right? It's beautiful, right? This is decoration. That is why this is my message. Beautiful women are a decoration of any event. Not fair to call them useless. So
is it better to call them a decoration? I don't like.
Yeah. So this is now.
I don't see it calling the women useless. I see it calling the job useless.
Yeah.
But then she's actually calling the women a decorate. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So like the Twitter sphere literally blew up, and everybody's like, well, now Khabib's being like sexist because like, wow, why if a woman wants to do this, why can't she do this? It's not a useless job if she wants to do it, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm like, is this really like
I hate Twitter so much
to die on? Like, why? Like, who cares?
I don't think it's sexist at all.
No. So I just, because I watched it, and I'm like, I think this, and I hate this because the fights were so amazing. This story kind of overshadowed it because, again, it's just drama, and it just pissed me off because the fights were amazing.
Okay. Do you think them doing that job adds value? No, I won't say add value because sex always adds value to stuff.
That's what I was about to say. Yes, it will add value to
Do you
viewers.
think if it wasn't there, the sport of UFC would take a hit?
No.
if Bruce Buffer didn't announce, do you think he would take a hit?
Yeah.
See,
I think it would take a bigger hit.
I don't think the girls walking around with the signs is a make or break of the UFC. And I think, like the guy said, if Dana wants that, then cool. That's cool for the UFC. You know, if he doesn't want it, like, how much are those girls getting paid?
Let's find out.
Google it.
How much does a ring girl make in the UFC? So
it's gotta
UFC
be some.
ring girls,
it's gotta be some bread because like that's a dumb job to take if you're not getting paid.
You'd be surprised. Let's find out. So I'm reading two things right now. So this might be different because there are some more like, right here. So UFC ring girls make from $1,000 to $5,000 for pay-per-view events per fight. Annually, UFC ring girls make from $20,000 to $50,000, which side ventures included UFC ring girls earning can go up to $1 million per year. Ariane Celeste being an example. She's like the most famous ring girl. Everybody knows her. But in reality, pay-per-view events, all of them outside of like their own branding are making $5,000 for pay-per-view events.
How many How many events would you say are in a year?
For pay-per-view events, it's usually like 6 or 7. Actually, maybe less actually.
Okay, so it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
But still, $5,000 to like do that? I mean,
okay, yeah. Actually, no, there's a lot more. What? No way. Okay, so maybe they're counting those under fight night as well. So the average like pay-per-view is last year for 2019, in 2019 it was 42. So it ranges from like 39 to 45. Fights? Yeah, 42 events.
Well, that's bread.
Pay-per-view events. That's what I mean. So
I don't know. Oh. I can't knock it. I can't, but I also can't like I don't care. Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and again, this is all dependent on also your clout level for these kind of positions. Because for example, Ariane Celeste is probably one of the most well-known ring girls in the UFC. So she, outside of like, because she has like 3 million followers on Instagram, and she's a co-host of her own TV show and a model featured in Playboy magazine and Sports Illustrated, Maxim, etc. So she has her own other hustles, which bring her net worth to like $3 million. But other people, like the lower end, like ring girls, usually get to 30K, give or take.
Yeah, but that's just off of that though.
That's what I mean.
So like, some people look at that and be like, yeah, but 30K is not a lot. But in perspective, to just hold a sign and basically like be fit.
Yeah.
That's easy.
You're essentially sex appeal. That's your job.
And see, I can't knock it because it is what it is. Like,
yeah,
you know,
sex sells, especially for that. Like, that's why people, again, I don't think in today's, maybe before, that's probably what brought people in. But now I think for UFC specifically, I don't think that's the case because the fighters are their own character, like their own personas. Like that's why people come to see them. They don't come to see ring girls. I don't think a single person who loves UFC could tell me 3 of the ring girls' names.
I didn't even know any of their names.
Right?
They're just ring girl 1, 2, and 3.
They're just exactly right. So that's what I mean. So,
but then again, it's like okay, but they're models though, so like it's in their realm of what they do. Especially if they're Playboy models, like.
Well, that's what I mean, right?
I don't know.
Just, yeah,
I don't know. So like, I don't think it's sexist.
No,
I think if you're not Dana White, it doesn't make sense to spend that much money on ring girls when you could put on the screen.
Correct. Invested in something else.
But I also don't think like it should be gone and it's whatever. I don't really have any thoughts on it. It doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I was indifferent. The only reason why I brought it up is because I hated the fact because I'm a fight fan. I love fighting. And I hated the fact that it was such an amazing event. I watched it because the event ended around like 1:32 in the morning because of the actual main card. I hated the fact that this took over what was a great event. That's what pissed me off. I was like, why are we talking about this? Who cares? It's a stupid conversation. Move on.
Well, I will say this. whenever the average person watches UFC, I guarantee that when they see the ring girls, they always say, "What's the point?"
Yeah.
There's always something to say about the ring girls.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that's part of the marketing. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's free publicity, but yeah, that was
paid publicity, bro.
Oh yeah, paid publicity. Yeah, that's true.
It's a job. I don't care.
Yeah, it is what it is. I was also trying to find something that did not have to do with the pandemic, bro.
You failed.
Oh my gosh.
You failed, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I got it. It's a little more of a heavier topic, but it's not the pandemic, thank goodness. Have you been okay, so like the moment, this is more of the US stuff, is again, Canada has kind of just been
trash.
We've talked a lot more of US kind of has a border crisis going on right now.
With the whips?
So that, yes. Because, at first, from the beginning, as soon as Biden took office, we had a border crisis with a lot of Central and South Americans trying to come up. And we had like a huge border crisis the U.S. had a huge border crisis with illegals coming over the border. Mm-hmm. Now we have a lot of Haitian people coming up. Mm-hmm. So now it's the mix right now. So it says right now more than 10,000 migrants from Haiti have converged on the U.S. border at Del Rio, Texas, and up to 30,000 are also seeking to travel north. Mm-hmm. So their experiences are similar to those of migrants from Central and South America, where political and economic instability and climate change are threatening their livelihoods. Mm-hmm. And as you said, there's been a lot of stuff with for example, the guys on horses with the whips.
Yeah.
Right. Not a good look. And a bunch of other stuff. So now it's the situation as to why all of a sudden is this influx of people coming in. Like, why is this the case now? Is the question. And so a lot of people are saying is because, for example, under the Trump administration, is what they're saying here, is that because he was a lot more strict on borders mm-hmm. and that it was more difficult to do that, there was less influx of people. But when Biden said that, he's like, we're going to make sure that if you want to come to the US, you're going to come to the US. And a lot of people took that as like, well, this is open arms and now we're going to come in. Essentially, like he didn't outright say it, but everybody took it as, oh, open borders, everybody, let's go. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? So now it's because everybody's for example, they've interviewed people who are coming up and they're saying the US is a beacon, being like, wow, I can leave places like Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and then like now Haiti, and I can come in and because the president is being lenient.
But you still gotta come in, like you still gotta go through process.
Yeah, well, that's what you still
you can't just roll up and be like, all right, I'm American now. Like
again, a lot of people are under that mindset, being like, I just have to get over the border and I can start my life.
Nah.
That's the mindset of a lot of people.
I saw a lot of people upset about the whole whips and things. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here's my thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know the process of how to defend the border. Whips and like horses to me seems kind of like
the old school.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Seems kind of a little more inhumane than
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
However, can't just jump the border
well, right?
And then the whole idea of like, yeah, but their countries, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. If someone down your street, if their house catches on fire and burns down mm-hmm. and they just walk into your house now.
Well, exactly. You're just going to let them?
Like, I don't think anyone's going to be like, yeah, it could come through. Some mm-hmm. people would. Majority would be like, no. Right? So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, to the
they're like on both sides, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I get it, right? Like, well, two things. The first thing is like I watch the videos of the whippings and I've seen both sides. Like I try to make sure I'm balanced when it comes to whoever's reporting what. I hate big news. I hate it because everybody's just they're all politically influenced by who they support. From what I saw, it didn't look like they were actually whipping any like an actual person. They were just doing it to be like, back off, don't come. Like, you can't come through. Is what I saw. I could be wrong.
I didn't even know
what
whips were still a thing, bro.
I didn't either.
Besides like some kinky stuff. Like
yeah, I saw it. I'm like, do we not have guns? Like, do we not have what was going on here?
Like, what happened to like warning shots? But I mean, but then again, they do a warning shot and hit somebody, then we're like, they're just killing people. So
exactly.
I don't know. We can never be satisfied with anything.
Right. It's the other thing was that, because I've had this conversation with my parents a lot, because I'm very torn with this topic in particular. The idea of what is like the process of like the thought process of somebody deciding to cross the border. Like my parents know, and I know a lot of people who have either had family or people who have been who are in currently the country illegally, who have made it there and moved to Canada, etc. Like, I know people like that. And so the question is now, it's like, well, as somebody who is part of that culture, do I I can understand. I understand. I will never take away from somebody who went through that and it's like, you made it here, you did this. I don't think it's the right thing to do, because you risk certain death, you risk
deportation,
like imprisonment, right? Like a lot of stuff. I think there's better ways to do it, but I will never take away from somebody who went out of their way to go do that. But see, now I
don't know how I feel about that.
See, I don't know. I'm torn. But the other thing is, I'm for like the people who say we should have looser border restrictions. I don't really agree with that, because I don't think that
makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, because I think that it creates more problems. It's statistically proven that more violent, again, I'm not saying this to like generalize, but it's proven statistically that when we have looser borders, more violent acts happen closer to the borders, more drug and stuff come into the US, et cetera, right? So it's difficult to have that mindset when I have people, or my family and my culture is part of that, right? So I'm not saying, like, my parents tell me always of stories of like people who they knew is like they're fleeing like government tyranny and like violence in there. It's like, I get that. I get it. But that shouldn't be an excuse for the border. The government doesn't work on the minority of people's situations. They work on what's best for the country. And having a looser border, in my opinion, is not the best thing for the US or even for Canada. I don't think any loose borders should be.
I think when people say that, I don't think they really think about like the logistics of running a country. It's almost like, okay, I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast this week, and they were talking about, because it came out that Michael K. Williams officially, it was fentanyl and meth, I think. And they were just talking about drugs and how like a lot of things nowadays have fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
So the one guy was saying like, this is why we should just make drugs legal everywhere, right? Because once it's regulated, it's this and that.
Yeah.
And that's easy to say without thinking about the consequences.
Correct.
So the one guy his rebuttal was, well, here's the thing though, because like you can't make drugs just free for everybody, because now like he was talking, like I don't know the ins and outs of drug use and all that stuff, but he was talking about crack cocaine, right? It's an addictive substance that you can't function off of. Yeah. Right? He was saying there's certain drugs that you can still function with while taking them. Crack cocaine, you can't, right? Yep. So if it's legal now, the accessibility to it, to now make it crack cocaine and available to everybody, is not safe for the public, right? And now you have people who normally wouldn't want to do it because it's illegal and they're not into doing illegal things, will look at it and be like, oh, I could try it now because it's legal.
Yeah.
So making it legal just so that you don't die off fentanyl, and it's like the consequence. Like you got to think about the consequences of the things you're like fighting for when you really think about it.
Right, and that's what I mean. It's like I think that again, I have to the people who talk about like looser border restrictions. I'm like, I can speak on understanding because I have actual perspective and know people behind that. Like I'm literally my culture is that. Like I know people of that. The thing is that I can't say that is a good idea. I would say if you think that, go live near the border. Go live near Texas. See if I think a lot of people can talk like that because they're so far away and disconnected from the situation that they don't really see it as something. They can just speak their mind and that's it. Like go live actually where it is and go see if your lifestyle or your way of life is affected because of this. It is. It really is.
Even even just like mathematically.
Yeah.
I know there's a joke of like, oh, they're taking our jobs. But if you're just letting everybody in, you're gonna run out of jobs. And they get mad about it. So I'm not against immigration and all that stuff.
No.
But I do see the purpose of having border restrictions for a reason.
Correct. Right? Like I think just because you're trying to, and this is the problem I had with, again, I don't care what politician, but specifically because Biden's in office, this is the problem I had with what his campaign was on, is being like, well, the way he mouthed it off, it sounded like this man's like, no, we're accepting of everybody and anybody that wants to come to the US. Oh. And I'm just like, bro, that's a mistake because now you see the surge and they don't want to admit it's a crisis. I'm like, yes, it is. Like for the first like 3 months, you had Latinos of every single corner of Central and South America trying to come up. Now you got Haitians. Now you got other groups of people coming up. It's like, come on. Like, you got to just call an ace an ace.
I've never heard that term before. An ace an ace?
I think it's that.
Isn't it a spade, a spade, a spade?
A spade. That's what it is.
Oh, I thought you were, I thought you knew something I didn't, bro.
No. You're right. You got to call a spade a spade. So I was just like, because you just want to everybody to just like you for being like progressive. It's like, well, no, you just got to make the tough decisions sometimes. And again, I'm not discrediting anybody who is actually dealing with a real life situation over there, but the answer is not. It's not simple
illegally. It's not a simple answer.
I'm not saying that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I think they think it's a simple answer, but it's not. There's way too much that goes into that.
Right. And so that's why like I'm torn literally 50-50. But if I had to pick a side, I would choose the stricter restrictions because if you do that, it forces people who are trying to take advantage of those situations, like essentially the people who are getting paid to bring people over there, it loses their hold and grip on influencing other people, etc. Right? Like I'm not for that. So yeah, it's a crazy situation, and I'm just like, it sucks because, like, again, knowing people in my life and in my parents' lives who have like actually been affected by stuff like this, I'm just like, guys, like let's move along, get it together.
I don't know, bro.
It is wild, right? But yeah, I couldn't find, like, that was the thing. It's like those were the two stories that like, because I'm trying to avoid the pandemic.
At least out here really struggling, not talking about COVID. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Because it's just everywhere.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
So I saw this story. Do you know who Boosie Badass is?
I do not.
He's a rapper.
Okay.
Did you hear about the rapper that got banned from Instagram for talking about Lil Nas X?
No, I did not.
Saying like how like they're forcing the gay agenda on kids and stuff.
No, explain this to me.
That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking like that rapper in particular.
Okay.
Anyways, so he was out, I guess, and a fan came up to him, and they're like, "Yo, can I get a picture?" And I guess he just recently released a movie, whatever. And he said, "You buy my movie?" And the guy goes, he goes, "Nah, I just watched it on YouTube."
Oh,
and then he goes, "I'm not giving you a picture."
Wow.
He said it a little bit more harsh in a little bit more words.
Yeah.
But basically, he was like, "Get out of here." What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, the fact that he didn't give him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like, yo, you're wrong for that. Like, you're tripping. Like, be humble and all these things.
I've got two sides to that.
Okay.
I'll explain. Okay. The first side is the side of the fan. I think, yeah, if you're trying to meet somebody that sure you admire and like they're kind of, yeah, that's kind of a dick move. Like, why? Like, come on. Like, if there's somebody that's trying to support you by like consuming your content, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other side. The way the kid consumed it, I understand his reaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. And the reason why I get it is because, like, for example, doing this podcast and seeing like people like you and other people actually create stuff and put effort and blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yeah.
Only for someone to consume it in a way that's like, well, like
that's good for them, but it's like, not. It doesn't help you,
right? Like, it doesn't help me, right? I get the reaction. I get it. It's like, did you buy my movie? It's like, well, no, I watched it for free. Why am I going to pay for something if I can just watch it for free? Like, well,
but you want to pitch it, right? Like,
right? It's like you just want to take advantage of my hype, but you're not willing to invest in it.
See, like I think that just goes back again to like how the public views creators.
Yeah,
because I posted something this week. It was another podcast, but he was talking about music. And
yes, I saw that.
He said something, and I thought it was actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, he doesn't think that a Spotify membership should be $10 a month.
Yes, I saw that.
And he said, I'm going to speak from his perspective. He goes, I don't think we should have access to the entire world of music for $10 a month. Right? Because in reality, yes, it's true. You stream my album, I'm probably going to get 25 cents off that album, right? But he made a really good point that I was thinking about. And he was saying how back in the day, before streaming was what it is now, when people would listen to music, they would actually go out of their way and purchase an album.
Yep.
Those albums would be anywhere from $10 to $20, right?
Yep.
And the artist would see majority of that money, right? But the mindset of the person purchasing it is way different now, because it's like, I just spent $20 on this project. I'm gonna listen to it differently, right? I'm actually gonna listen and take time, and like, I bought it. Like, it has value, you know?
Yep.
Now it's like I'm paying $10 a month. I have access to all this stuff. Drake drops. I'm not into it. You don't even really listen to it because the value of the albums nowadays is gone.
Yep.
Right? Like, if we were to ask like a new generation what the value of an album was, I wonder what they would say.
Like what the actual price would be.
Yeah. Because I think if you weren't around for the album days, like back when you want to get an album, you have to purchase it on iTunes.
Yep.
I don't think they would know what the value of an album is.
Yep. I remember those days. I remember the days of being like, I get a paycheck and like I can only purchase certain songs because I'm still broke. So I got like that $1.99 song and be like, okay, I'm gonna invest it because I want to hear this.
And I remember the days with like me and Joel and some other guys from church, whatever. We'd be so excited for like a Lecrae album to drop. We all bought the album, so we all could listen to it at midnight, kind of thing, right? And now it's like if you just do quick math in your head, $9.99 for Spotify, right? You're getting everything that's made, basically, right? If you divide that up, that's the value on the albums now is cents.
Yeah,
it's cents, right? Because Drake is streaming what? Billions of streams.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're the top guys, you're not going to see any of that money. It's a huge pile of money going to Spotify.
Yep.
So I don't blame creators for like, if he's like, nah, I didn't pay for it. I watched it on YouTube. Get out of here. Like,
yeah.
Go get a picture from me off of YouTube and then
Well, that's what I mean.
yourself into it.
Call yourself a fan, but you're not willing to like invest in what I'm doing so that you can be entertained. Yeah. Right. And it's not like the fact like we're like asking for your money. We're just saying if you call yourself a fan, but you're taking shortcuts to be that fan, right? Like that you don't call yourself that. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I get that 100%. And I think that, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, I think that, it's just, I don't think it's going to get any better for up and coming artists. I don't think it's going to get any better.
I don't think it's going to get better for any creator.
No, not at all. Like I'm a very big fan, and this just comes with like music, TV, like video games, whatever. I'm a big fan of purchasing physical stuff. Still, I'm a very big fan. Like,
I want to like get physicals of my album and sell them, but I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah,
there's no point. People already have it.
Right? Like I'm a big fan of like one thing I've started to collect is like I'm starting to slowly collect vinyls. I like having physical albums up because I'm like, I like this. I love this album so much that I want to have an actual physical thing in my hand being like, this is how much I actually support the actual creator. But I get what you mean. I get it.
And here's the hard part, right? So I posted that video and this YouTuber I know, he messaged me and he was like, and he goes, see, here's the thing now, right? You have to create value off of something else now. So it's like you gotta offer people something for free that's gonna funnel them in, and then from there you give them the product. But see, that's hard now because what if the creative doesn't have the business mind?
Yeah.
What if my only skill or my best skill is music?
Yep.
I can't just make music and be good at that anymore. I have to be good at music and also be a business mogul. Because again, let's look at my album for example. I put years into that album. I spent so much time. I spent a lot of money on that album, right? All the beats, I don't make the beats myself, right?
Yep.
And they're not free either. So I spent a lot of money and they're not cheap either. Spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of years on it, right? And the moment I press send to the distributor, which I got to pay for even more to just put it out there, anyone who already has Spotify gets it for free.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, okay, now that I've given you the free item, now I got to create something else to bring you in to sell to you now. But like, I'm not a businessman. I'm not a sales guy. I'm the music guy. So now I got to go out of my way to figure other things out. And it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's I never really realized that. Like I knew of it, but I felt it for real. Like when we were on our off season, investing in this podcast. Yeah. It's like every little thing.
Everything costs money, bro.
Everything is, that's what I mean. It's like, well, I'm like, no, I can create it. I'm like, no, there are limits to what we can do for our brand. There are sometimes you just have to go out and find other people who are better at it.
Or you do the slow grind. And that's you learn everything yourself, but that takes time even more. Especially if you have a day job.
Exactly. Right? So it's just now it's like it's a level of like, well, I appreciate like essentially like our baby of like what we've created so much, but then for people to just be like, oh yeah, I just consumed it.
Right?
Didn't really do much else. It's
that's why people say when you're starting a business, consistency is the key.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you think about the amount we put into this, especially just during the off season, like I came in season 2, right? If you look at what you've done from season 1 to 2 to now here, if you were to just stop, that's a waste.
I can't even.
And people wouldn't even know how much is wasted.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like literally, I think I now know this. Like every creator, I think gets that point. Yeah, just being like, what's the point?
Yeah,
and I got that when we now started doing visuals and YouTube. Like I was like halfway through editing a video, and I was just like, what is the point if I'm gonna get like 7 to like 10 views on YouTube, or like. We're editing all this audio and we're getting like whatever amount of listeners.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is the point?
You have to have tough skin.
That's what I mean. And I always get reminded myself to something is that you can stop, but like you're just going to go back to the same thing that you started at the beginning. Nothing will change.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing's going to change. Like you're just going to go back to square one. Whereas you've made so much progress now.
Might as well keep going.
Might as well keep going. Right.
Because it can only get better.
Well, exactly. Right. And I was watching another interview and somebody said, it's like people, I think, don't realize how close they are to like catching like magic in that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are literally, they won't even realize half a second. It'd be like maybe one more episode or one more edit and I'm there and they just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the hump of over like self-doubt being like, is this ever going to be a thing? Is this ever going to do something?
One of the best sayings I ever heard was actually from Eric Bellinger. But you know what he said? He said, I forget how the exact phrase goes. It was really like poetic. But basically, it was saying, you can, like, if you say, Eliott, I want to get in shape.
Yeah.
And I say to you, it's going to take you a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you got to be consistent every day for a year. Right? And then you say in your head, yeah, but that's a long time. Yep. I don't know if I could do it for a year. Guess what? A year is going to come regardless.
Yeah.
Right? The time will pass regardless of if you do something or not. Mm-hmm. So you might as well just do it. Because you're going to get to that point anyways. Yeah. So I thought it was like, I'm like, it makes sense. You might as well just keep making stuff.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, it's always the mindset going back to, regardless of whether or not this like we're doing everything we can slowly but surely making this happen. I still enjoy doing this. I like making content. It's fun.
And that's the key. You got to find something that you're passionate about and that you enjoy. Yeah. You can't just be hopping on the trends nowadays of like, like this is what's popping, because if you're not really into it, once the trend is done, your content is just trends, right? Yeah, but if you find something you really, really enjoy, you might as well keep doing it, because eventually,
that's what I mean.
Eventually, you know? And if not, at least you can say you spent your life doing something you loved.
It's true.
So
that's what I mean. I don't like being trend follower, being trendsetter.
Yo, that's the motto, fam. We don't do trends. We set trends. That's why I don't be on TikTok.
for now, until you get on it.
Yeah, but if I'm on it though, I'm out here setting trends. I'm not watching nobody else's stuff.
That's fair.
I actually unfollowed a lot of people that I used to follow.
On Instagram?
And not because of like pettiness or anything, but because watching other people do what I'm trying to do affects my brain in doing what I'm doing.
Like out of a sense of, okay, you got to explain that, because I think to the regular person, that's what I was going to say. I think a lot of people would think that.
Right? So if I'm in this, like I have a habit now, if I'm writing songs, I don't turn my phone on. Because if I'm in the studio and I'm writing a song and I think the song's fire, I go on Instagram real quick and I see someone else that's making a song, and in my head I'm like, dang, I like theirs better. And I start second guessing my whole song. You know, you see people making content and it's not out of like I'm jealous or like, you know, but it's just like, I don't want that feeling of comparison to be consuming me as I'm creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I'll jump back in once in a while just to see what everyone's doing, to see what's like, what the market is like for whatever it is we're doing. That meaning like, what is video quality looking like? What is sound quality sounding like? So I know where I'm trying to match. But when it comes to the actual content and the creative part of it, I can't just be watching everyone else's content.
Yeah,
it throws me off.
It's just going to be, I get that 100%. Yeah, I think it's stuff. Like we've talked about this before. It's just the idea of like how to actually like show support and be supportive of people trying to create stuff. I try to make it like an effort for like anybody that's attempting to create something or do something. I was like, I will make it like a mindset to just be like, even if I don't care about it, I'll try to support as much as possible.
Right? The best way to support someone is to go create something for yourself for a month.
Yeah, and gain perspective.
Go do that and then come back and see how much you appreciate when other people do stuff.
That's what I mean. It's just like, it's crazy because it's your own time and energy you're taking, and then nobody else is consuming it. You feel some type of way. You feel some type of way about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, I get it with that fan and that. I get that 100%.
I do too. I don't know if I would do it. I'd probably just be like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I'll get a picture.
Yeah, right. But you'd still be like,
I would feel it too. I'd be like, dang, like.
Yeah. I'd probably say like some off comment just being like, well, maybe next time you actually purchase the real thing.
I'd be like Kanye when he was signing those Yeezys. You ever see that meme?
No. Where was it?
The guy's like, yo, can you sign my Yeezys? And he's like, signing. He was like, no, these are fake, right? The guy's like, no, they're not. He goes, yeah, it's fake, but it's cool. It's cool though. And he signed them and he just walked away.
Well, yeah, because he took the ultimate L. You purchased fake Yeezys.
Right? And then got Kanye to sign them. That's wild. But he signed them still, but he's like, I'm just letting you know. These are fake.
Yeah. These are fake. They ain't real. Oh, man. Yeah, but that's an interesting story for sure.
Yeah. Perspective.
Yeah. No. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up now.
Wrap it up.
Time for question of the week. Question of the week.
Question of the week. If you were able to have dinner with one celebrity of your choice, who would that celebrity be?
Dead or alive?
Alive.
Or both? Alive. Okay. Can we do like an oh, okay, no. Because now I'm thinking like an actor, a musician.
No, it's just one celebrity. Whatever category you want them to be from.
That's a good question.
And why?
This is tough. Yeah, that's tough. We gotta think about this for a second. That's a good question. Mm-hmm. Like I have idea, like I have a list, but it's like it's just picking one of them is the hard part. I think I would pick, because I feel like it'd just be a fun, it'd be an interesting conversation, and I could say I'd be one of the few people to have that conversation with this person. Probably be Bruno Mars.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a feeling you were going to say Bruno Mars.
Yeah. I've always
have a poster of him in your
enjoyed.
bedroom.
I mean, yeah. I went to his concert. It's fantastic. The reason why I say this is because we talked about this, I think, what was it, last week, was the idea of just being like low-key famous. Mm-hmm. And because he's like he is beyond famous. Like he's A-list celebrity. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do that. Like I want to like talk to him and just like know how he balances essentially being an international superstar, but just being a normal person.
Because he's fantastic at what he does.
And that's what I mean.
When you're like, great at what you do, you don't have to be in the celebrity BS.
And that's what I mean. He's one of the few like musicians that like actually cares about his music and like the mainstream kind of media. And like, so I would love to just pick his brain and just see how like, because I've gained a better appreciation of it, like watching you make music. So I would love to see what kind of his like mindset it goes into.
And he plays like every instrument too.
He plays drums, guitars, piano, like a lot of like wind and brass instruments. It's crazy.
Like I'm a songwriter, so I write to music, but he like produces like the music himself.
That's what I mean.
That's cool.
And to be honest too, like he was one of probably the first artists like I ever actually like was like dedicated to listening to.
You would pay for his album.
Like, I would absolutely pay for his album. I have paid for his album. And so like the thing is too is that like it was funny too. Do you know when it was? It was when we were going to Terrell's wedding. Is when like the first time I actually learned to appreciate music was his 24 Karat Magic album. Because like I had a bunch of music on there. That's what I mean is I started listening to it and I was like, oh wow, like this is like a full on like this is that album that like I don't have to skip.
Yeah.
You can just listen to everything,
yeah.
right? And so like I started to really appreciate like, well, okay, what other albums do I have of music that are the equivalent to this? And then I started seeing like Chris Brown's, then you introduced me to Trevor, and then et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, this gave me a brand new appreciation of what like music really is. So that's why I liked it. I think I would pick.
You know what would be cool? A little bit back to the topic we were talking about before, but if your Spotify membership gave you 10 artists catalog to listen to.
Ooh.
And for every 10 is another $10.
Yeah, that'd
be kind of cool.
Ooh, that's really cool. I like that.
Then you got to really decide who you like and who you don't like.
Right? To really support.
Because I have my membership now, and there's like probably 10 artists I listen to on rotation.
Yeah.
I don't really be like out here using Spotify to find new music. I listen to the ones I like. So that'd be kind of cool.
Who would you pick?
10 artists?
No. Your person you'd have, celebrity.
Dang, I was on that. Okay.
Well, I mean, 10 artists, we can get to that another time, but yeah.
My celebrity for dinner would be Chef Ramsay.
Oh.
I think out of all the celebrities, I think Chef Ramsay's the coolest.
Okay.
And it's funny though, because everybody knows like Chris Brown's my favorite artist of all time. I wouldn't want to have dinner with Chris.
Yeah.
But I think Chef Ramsay, I don't know. I feel like he's a good time. He obviously knows food, so having dinner with him would be fun.
Yeah.
And I think as a businessman, I think he's fantastic at what he does.
Yeah.
Like he's the only person, in my opinion, or a celebrity in my opinion, that's an asshole, but still is loved by everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
Like, who doesn't like Chef Ramsay?
Right.
He's dope. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
And I think for sure, like, well, yeah, because like you're a chef too. Like you love to cook.
Right? So like I would like pick his brain apart about the food. He'd probably describe it in a way that I never thought of. And now like I'm tasting like daffodils in the steak because like his brain describes it like that. And I'm like, I see it too. Like, I don't know.
That's a good pick for you. That's a good one. Yeah, that's
and he's
a good
funny
one.
too, because like if the food's bad, you go get a show.
Oh my gosh, you and Chef Ramsay with the show? I would binge that,
imagine, bro. Like he gets his steak and he sends it back. It's raw.
It's getting raw.
Like I'd be like, yo, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now, bro. That's funny.
That is hilarious. Oh man. Well, there you go. Question of the week. You had to go with one celebrity to have dinner with. Who would you pick?
And why?
And why? Let us know that for sure. But anyways, guys, that's the end. If you guys have any comments, topics you want us to talk about, anything else that from previous episodes you heard of, you can DM us at Conflict and Interest on Instagram, Conflict and Interest. Also email us at conflictandinterest@gmail.com. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any streaming platforms that you can listen to this to as well. Leave a written rating on Apple Podcasts. Really does help boosting promotion and advertising for the show. As well, we are on YouTube, full visuals, so you can see our reactions, our dumb faces or whatever.
Speak for yourself. I have a beautiful face.
Well, it brings a little more depth to the conversation if you want to listen to that. So it's on our YouTube channels. All of the links are in our Instagram bio, so you can just go and check it out there. But yeah, anyways, EJ, where can they find you at, man?
This is Juwan96 on the Instagram. I mean, it's that on TikTok too, but you heard me.
Yep.
I'm not on TikTok.
Right. There it is. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.